He thought he was just helping a stranger stranded on the roadside. But that one act of kindness opened a door he never imagined would even exist for someone like him. Before we start, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who believes good people still exist. From which country are you watching my video, as I can see where my video is being watched? Jack Carson was an ordinary man with oil-stained hands and a heart far bigger than his small-town garage. He had been fixing cars since he was 15, taking over the family mechanic shop after his father passed away. Life had never been easy for Jack. He barely made enough to pay rent for the shop, let alone his tiny apartment on the edge of town. But Jack never complained. He found peace in helping others, especially when they were in trouble. It was a stormy Wednesday afternoon when everything changed. Jack had just finished patching up an old truck when he heard the loud pop of a tire outside. It was unusual. His garage was on a quiet road that didn't see much traffic. Curious, he stepped out and saw a sleek black car pulled over, the front right tire completely flat. Beside it stood a well-dressed woman in heels and a beige coat, looking frustrated and completely out of place in the muddy roadside mess. Jack didn't hesitate. He grabbed his toolkit, pulled his hoodie over his head, and jogged toward the car. "Need a hand?" he called out with a friendly smile. The woman looked at him, surprised. "Oh, I called for roadside assistance, but they said it'll be over an hour," she replied. Her voice was calm but clearly impatient. "I have a meeting in 30 minutes. I'm going to miss it." Jack knelt beside the tire. "Well, lucky for you, I fix cars for a living. I'll have it done in 10 minutes. She looked at him, hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "If you could, I'd really appreciate it. I'm Evelyn." "Jack," he said, already getting to work. As the rain began to fall harder, Jack worked quickly, his hands moving with precision and skill. Mud splashed on his jeans and water ran down his sleeves, but he didn't stop. Evelyn stood under a small umbrella, watching in silence. She didn't speak much, but her eyes followed his every move. 10 minutes later, the tire was fixed. Jack stood up, wiped his hands on a cloth, and said, "You're good to go." Evelyn opened her purse and pulled out a leather wallet. "How much do I owe you?" Jack shook his head. "Nothing. Just glad to help." Her eyebrows raised slightly. "Really? You fixed the tire in the pouring rain? I insist." But Jack stepped back, shaking his head again. "No charge. We don't let people stand in the rain around here." Evelyn stared at him for a long second, then slowly nodded. "You're very kind, Jack. Thank you." With that, she got into her car and drove off. Jack returned to his garage, soaked and cold, thinking it was just another day in his ordinary life. The next morning he arrived at the garage early. He turned on the lights, unlocked the tool cabinet, and got ready to open up. But before he could flip the sign to open, a sleek black car pulled up outside. It looked familiar. Out stepped Evelyn. Jack blinked. "Back already? Did the tire give you trouble again?" She smiled. "No, the tire's fine. I'm here for something else." She walked into the garage, her heels clicking against the concrete. "Jack, do you know who I am?" He shrugged. "You said your name was Evelyn." She nodded. "Yes, Evelyn West, CEO of West Tech Industries." Jack's eyes widened. He had heard of West Tech. It was one of the largest tech and automotive companies in the state, maybe even the country. They manufactured electric vehicles and had been in the news for hiring some of the most skilled minds in the industry. I had no idea," Jack muttered. Evelyn smiled. "I figured. Most people treat me differently when they know, but you helped me without knowing who I was. That's rare." Jack rubbed the back of his neck, unsure of what to say. "I went to my meeting that day," she continued, "but I couldn't stop thinking about how selflessly you helped me, and how quickly you fixed that tire. You're skilled, Jack. More skilled than most of the people we've interviewed in months." "I just fix cars," he said quietly. "No, you solve problems. Fast. And you care about people while doing it. That's the kind of person I want on my team," Evelyn said. "How would you feel about working for West Tech? Full-time. Benefits. A proper salary. A chance to work with advanced automotive tech." Jack's mouth opened, but no words came out. "I'm not joking," Evelyn added. "You'd have your own team, your own space. We'd help relocate you closer to the city. I've already spoken to HR. All we need is your yes." For a long second, Jack stood frozen. Then he chuckled in disbelief. "Is this real?" Evelyn handed him a business card. "Think about it. Call this number if you're interested. We'll give you a tour and everything." Jack stared at the card for a long time after she left. That night, he didn't sleep. He kept turning the card over in his hands, wondering if this was fate or just luck. The next morning, he made the call. 2 weeks later, Jack Carson walked into the West Tech headquarters in a clean set of overalls, nervous but excited. Evelyn met him personally, showed him around, introduced him to the engineering team, and even assigned him to work on a new electric engine prototype. Everyone treated him with respect, not because of his title, but because Evelyn had personally recommended him. Over the next few months, Jack proved himself again and again. His ideas improved engine cooling systems, and his suggestions saved the company thousands in production costs. He was promoted twice within 6 months. One day, as Jack stood in the employee lounge drinking coffee, Evelyn walked in. "I have something for you," she said with a grin. She handed him a small black box. Jack opened it and found a shiny silver badge inside. "Lead Automotive Technician." "I can't believe this," he whispered. "You earned it," Evelyn replied, "all because you helped someone in the rain without expecting anything in return." Jack smiled. "Guess my dad was right. He always said, 'Help without expecting, and the world finds a way to thank you.'" Evelyn nodded. "And now, the world just gave you the keys to something big." Jack never forgot where he came from. He visited his old garage often, helped young mechanics, and even started a free training program for struggling technicians. And every time someone asked him how he ended up at one of the biggest automotive companies in the country, he'd say with a smile, "I just fixed a tire for a stranger on a rainy day." Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness leads to the biggest. Turn in your story.